Grooverelly in the building.
One day, I'm gonna get that perfectly. If you couldn't tell, I very much love blackwinterwells' music. Fantastic artist. I've been listening to her since early 2020, the unspoken year. This is her latest song, Omen. Of course, when this drops, it might not be, because she is the most productive artist on the planet. She has produced for almost everyone in the hyperpop scene, has been in every hyperpop cypher. She isn't even hyperpop. Not only that, she's delving into a deeper and darker sounding, as you could say. I love it. Stuff like her music video Black Magician perfectly encapsulates that. Omen as well. Honestly, versatile artist, love her to death, and I was really excited when I got to interview her. She is definitely one of the most interesting artists I've talked to, and I was super excited. Also, that took a lot out of me. I need to go out more. Anyways, without further ado, here is the very fire first video interview of blackwinterwells. Live, I'm here with the legendary blackwinterwells. Some would say leader of Helix Tears, also part of Garden Avenue, and definitely one of my favorite artists from like the last 2 years.
Hello.
So just tell me a little bit about yourself. How have you been? What's up?
Honestly, I've kind of been losing my head a little bit. Canada has been handling the COVID thing a little bit badly. I mean, like, kind of everyone's been handling it badly, but we've been handling it badly and don't have enough vaccines. So, like, I've been in my house for too long. I'm tired of it. I want to go places. Other than that, kind of same old, playing RuneScape, making beats. You know how it is.
No, yeah, I definitely feel that. It's getting a little bit better here, which is kind of surprising, because I thought we'd be like the last ones to be doing well. And I was like, maybe, I'll just never go to another show again, or maybe I'll never be able to not wear a mask again. We'll see where this goes.
I mean, the fun thing here is that apparently our old conservative prime minister, while he was in control of things, decided to close down all of the vaccine factories.
Oh, well, that doesn't seem very effective at rolling out vaccines.
I guess no one except, I don't know, Bill Gates predicted that there would be a pandemic.
I feel like Bill Gates was definitely ahead of this. Didn't he want to, like, solve all the world's viruses by, like, now?
I don't know. I just know that, like, literally, like, 4 months before the pandemic, Bill Gates was like, there is going to be a pandemic and we are not ready and we should get ready. And then there was a pandemic and we weren't ready and we should have gotten ready.
I mean, love him or hate him, he kind of called it out. Imagine if we called this like 4 months earlier. Maybe we would have, not been stuck in our homes for like a year and a half.
But I mean, the thing is, like, it's still like if any of the world governments had been like, okay, just stay in your house for a month and do not leave under any circumstances, and we will like deliver you food. Like, we will get, I don't know, some sort of people to deliver you.
We'll
food,
get drones
like
employees.
Drones, yeah. Like, it could have all been over way earlier, but everyone's like, oh, the economy. We have to keep the economy going.
Yeah.
Anyway, enough about virus.
Now let's move on to the economy. Now let me stop.
Let's talk about this labor theory of value.
I just want to say thank you for being on here. I've been like a huge fan ever since I heard you on like a Shinny song. I think it started off with Shinny and then I went to Polo and I was like, wow, you're on everything. Literally.
Oh yeah, there was I remember, I think me and Glacier made a beat, and I didn't know Shinigami at that time, and Shinigami didn't know me, but Glacier sent Shinigami the beat, and then Yerms got on it too, and I didn't know Yerms then either, and I really liked that song.
Yeah, no, and like
forever ago.
ever since then I've headed down like the blackwinterwells like lore kind of extended universe, iceberg theory, whatever you want to call it. I even found Drain Puppet somehow like randomly one day. The forbidden the forbidden name. No, but like the more I like delve into your discography, the more I was like, wow, you are literally in every genre, on almost every like hyperpop cipher. Like you're in everything.
I try my best. I mean, there isn't fucking anything else to do, you know, these days. So it's like I spent all last year just like making 40 billion songs a day because I was bored.
I mean, they're all bangers, and it's all been really well. I mean, I like listening to it. I can't speak for everyone else, but shit.
I like listening to it too.
Why does my camera want to be stupid right now?
I don't know.
I was saying, like, I find it, like, kind of, like, rare when I talk to artists. They're like, yeah, I like my music. I listen to it. And I'm like, I do too. But, you know, it's kind of weird. And I didn't know that was just, like, a universal thing where artists are like, yeah, I just don't listen to my own music after I make it.
I mean, I guess it kind of depends on the music. Like, I could definitely understand, like, guys who make really sad songs not wanting to listen to them after the fact or whatever. And there's also a lot of people who are just, like, really insecure about their stuff. Like, I definitely, like, there's a lot of stuff I made a year ago that I think is trash, and there's a lot of stuff I made a year ago that I think is terrific. And so, you know, some of it I listen to, some of it I don't. It's just, you know, can't win all the time. But I definitely think it's, like, surprising to me when, you know, artists I really, really like are like, oh, no, I hate my music. And I'm like, why are you making it then? Why don't you make different music that you like?
I feel like that's like Drake.
What?
I feel like Drake doesn't like his own music. Either that or that's all he listens to. I feel like there's no in between with Drake.
I feel like
Drake is
I have no. I mean, I definitely think, you know, if Drake has the same opinion of his music that I do, then I would, you know, if I was Drake, I would not listen to a whole Drake album in 2021.
Honestly, I feel like as a society we've moved past the need for Drake. And
yeah, he's like the biggest rapper on earth right now. So
honestly, you know, I feel like he's just one of the biggest artists on earth right now, and I'm like, that's a little upsetting to say the least. We've been talking about Drake for longer than I've ever talked about Drake before.
This is too much Drake.
It's just gonna turn into a Drake critique interview.
Yeah, it's just like examining the ethical implications of Drake. That's a joke.
Colleges and universities one day will have courses specifically designed to Drake.
All right. Must interrogate Drake from a Marxist perspective. I have to stop with the Marx joke. Everyone's gonna get mad at me.
I mean, I feel like I've just gotten so used to them that I don't even think twice about it. And then I feel like someone else will hear and be like, are you just like disrespecting this country entirely? I'm like, nah, man, I'm just here. Just vibing. But then again, you kind of can, because you're not from here. It makes it a little bit easier.
Alright, what country am I disrespecting?
I don't know. I feel like America has a thing against Marxism in general.
I think everywhere has a thing against Marxism in general.
That's fair. Yeah, I can see that.
It's like communism, bad. Capitalism, good. Money.
I mean, everyone just does love their shmoneys.
We are talking about the most random shit.
Yeah, I kind of came in here with, like, topics of discussion, and now I feel like we've just gone from, like, Drake to, like, sociopolitics and economics. We're all over the place.
You gotta put us back on track. What are your notes?
Alright, so what's it like essentially being one of, like, the underground founders of hyperpop. You know, there's people like you, Quinn, who are kind of just like on everything, have been kind of running this scene, building it. Essentially, how does it feel to carry the weight of this scene on your back?
I mean, a lot of people like look at it and think that I was there from the inception, but I was late. Like, I showed up like kind of late. No, I showed up like early 2020, and like everyone had already like known each other and been doing this for a long ass time. And it only like I'm only seen as like one of the originators because I was making it before anyone was calling it hyperpop. And now obviously there's 40 billion people who started making it after that happened. So now, relatively speaking, I seem like I've been here forever. But like I was just making emo rap by myself with like some of my gay Twitter friends for a long ass time until like I found some people who were like, oh, we do auto-tune stuff too. Let's make auto-tune stuff together. So, you know, it's kind of crazy to me that just I accidentally became, you know, one of the originators of this big old thing that I feel like I don't really have anything to do with. Because just like the hyperpop thing, like I swear I never made a pop song. So I don't know why everyone's calling me that, but I don't know. I do think it feels really cool to be kind of plugged in with everyone and kind of just have made a song with everyone. Because it's like kind of just always been my dream. It's just like to work with a bunch of people. Because like back in the EDM scene, like EDM people like never collab. Like hella people just like go their entire career like only doing solo songs, and like no one really co-signs anyone. And it's just like everyone's kind of like keeps to themselves. Yeah. And I really like that, you know, around here there's like everybody's like, yo, here's an open, do a verse, and then like we have a song and it takes like 2 seconds. And I just always really like that. I like working with people. I like making friends, and I feel really grateful to like be in a position where there's like a lot of smaller artists who are really epic, and I can like hit them up and they'll be like, wow, yes, let's do a song. And I'm like, yay, I like making music.
No, that's definitely pretty cool. And I mean, I feel like there was a interesting part of like early 2020 where everyone started to get trapped at home. They're like, well, let's just like listen to music and stuff. And I feel like a lot of kind of just like hyperpop started there, where everyone had like nothing to do. Everyone was stuck at home. We were all playing Among Us and like just surfing the internet to like not go insane. And it's kind of crazy because I feel like that was a really beautiful time of like discovery of new artists. Like I discovered you, I discovered a whole bunch of different artists, made a whole bunch of new friends over online that like I'll probably never meet. But I don't know, I call that the age of discovery, part 1.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's definitely like, it's weird how the pandemic seems to have had a huge boost on like a few specific sectors. Like, the recording industry is now 100% of the music industry, you know? Yeah. Like, obviously there's merch and shit too, but like, touring doesn't exist. So as a result, like, records are the thing right now. And that's rare. Like, that doesn't usually happen. Usually it's like, you put out an album, and then you do a tour, or you do a couple tours, or you do like a few tours, and then you like don't put out music for a while. But now like that whole thing's been thrown out the window, so everyone's dropping like 47 tracks a day or whatever. And it's just like, it's really weird to think about how we're going to get back to the old model. Like, traveling around and not putting out a song every day like is going to be super weird. And also like, you know, a lot of the kids who are making music right now have like never played a show, and like they have these huge fan bases and they've never played a show, and that's unheard of too. Like the whole thing is just like shifts the paradigm so much, and it's so confusing to so many people, and like labels don't know what to do about it. Like TikTok was a significant part of music now, but now it's like the whole thing, because now recording is the whole thing, and so the thing that makes records blow up is the whole thing, and it's just, it's kind of crazy. And you know, I think it's really cool that like so many artists kind of got their start in a time where suddenly the entire music industry was accessible from like your bedroom, because you don't have to tour, you don't have to do any of that stuff. So I think it's awesome what's happened, but I'm like really excited to get back to playing shows and shit.
No, yeah, so, I definitely agree, and I feel like it's gonna be a really interesting kind of thing that goes on when people are able to play shows. Because I'm just imagining people like Kamo just coming out, like having his parents drop him off at the show, and just like on stage, and you just got a whole bunch of people just going crazy. And I feel like it's just gonna be really interesting to see how, and even if we go back to like how it was before, because I mean, how many? I don't think anyone has ever like not played a show and have such a huge fan base like how people in the hyperpop scene do, or like just the internet scene in general.
I mean, they're definitely like, there are a ton of like internet musician or like bedroom musician was like definitely like a job title for a while. Like there are people who push it on Bandcamp, don't do shows, don't do all that shit. But it was like they were rare, and they were usually like, for them to like get really popping off, it was usually like because they made music for a video game, or they were just like kind of at the forefront of like a weird internet genre like witch house or fucking vaporwave or like C-punk or any of that shit. So I think it's just really interesting now that like it used to be that if you were a bedroom musician and that was all you did, there was a weird angle to it, and now it's just like that's what everyone is.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And honestly, I feel like the most simple way to say it is like the meta has just changed in terms of like the music industry, because like
for sure
we've seen people literally just blow up on TikTok, have one really good song, get a record label, and then that's it. Like I still know people who have been like playing shows for years who want a record label, and they just can't figure out like how to do it. And here we go, like just one day one song does really well, and here you go, now you're signed to like 300 or Columbia or whatever.
I mean, that's definitely happened in the past before, but it was like, it's definitely way more common to get a random hit now, and it's like way more accessible. Like before it was like, I don't know, Trinidad James or whatever, and now it's just like random people making, like you just make a jungle remix of someone else's song and now it has 50 billion views or whatever.
It's like the way I think about it is like Savage Gas. I saw him when he had like 10 people and he was opening on Where All My Friends. Now the dude is signed, has like billions of plays, freaking million streams. It's like insane. I'm like, wow, I've seen such a large growth in such a short amount of time. And I guess like kind of the same with a lot of artists that are going like viral on TikTok. I don't know. I think the music industry is going to be one of those things that are just going to have to constantly keep evolving or just fall behind to like a whole bunch of independent artists.
I mean, I you could probably argue that in a lot of instances the industry is behind on stuff because like a lot of the, I feel like a lot of times the industry is late to things.
Oh no, they definitely are.
Because there's a lot of artists in this scene that are being signed now rather than like a year ago when everything was really exploding. And I guess it just goes to show how like slow on the draw everyone is about stuff like this.
I mean, in a sense, I kind of understand because the kind of goal of any business is to make money, and same thing with music. But that's another thing. Like, I feel like artists who aren't signed, who are like making 10, 15 songs a day, aren't so much focused on like the check as much as like, this is me. I am making this thing with like my hand and my body, and like I like this, and other people like this, and this is art.
Yeah, well, it's also just about like building something up. Like within the music industry, you drop like one song every however many months, and if that song, isn't a huge hit, you kind of like regroup and like sit around and like think about what the next move is. But like, around here, it's just like you drop a song and then you drop a song and then you drop a song and then you drop a song, and then you drop 47 songs and then one of them blows up, and then you're like, okay, cool, and then you keep going. Like it's like a totally different mindset. It's a totally different approach.
Was there like any of your songs that you were like, wow, this song is doing way better than I thought? That's nice.
I think Omen, I did not expect to be going as crazy as it is right now. Like, it's just like I remember I was making this and I was like, this is really dark, this is really gritty, this is like, I don't know if this is like too edgy for what people want right now. And then I dropped it and like so many people, like my friends, like hitting me up like, wow, Omen is crazy. Like people I like, or like my sister like texted me like, yo, Omen is like your best shit. And I'm like, thank you. You know, like it's, I feel like every time I take like a huge risk, it always pays off and I'm always surprised. And I don't know why I'm always surprised, but like anytime I make something really, really weird and different, people always seem to connect with it. And I'm really happy about that because I would hate to be one of the people whose fans always expect the same thing, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's another thing that I really like about you is that I never generally know what to expect. I don't know if I'm just going to be, like, kind of shoegazing or if I'm going to, like, jump off the top of my bed and, like, wow, this is really energetic. And that's just, like, another thing about you that you're just so diverse with your music. It's refreshing, honestly, to not hear the same thing all the time.
And the weird thing is, like, I've been making all different types of music forever, but like I always felt like in the EDM world people want the same thing from you over and over again. Like a lot of really successful EDM guys, all of their songs are very, very, very stylistically similar.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because like there's no like singing voice to connect to, like because obviously if I'm singing on every song, then like the thing that holds them all together is my voice. But if it's all instrumental, then that voice needs to be like a synth or something.
Yeah.
Like you need like a sort of similar sound in every song for people to connect to, which I didn't really realize until just now saying that. I was like, oh, okay, wait, this actually makes sense. But that was never how I did things. Like I'd always just like make an upstep song, make a chill wave song, make a da 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 da. And I guess I just needed to start singing on it for people to like get that.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a really good example of that was your song Hearse. Like, it has, like, 3 different genres in it all at once, and I was like, oh, switch, cool. I like when things switch up in the middle. Oh, another one. Cool. Yeah. And then there's, like, a third one. I was like, fuck, I can't handle this right now.
I mean, that's another, like, that's, like, I was making that, and I was like, I have no idea if people are going to like this. I have no idea if this is, like, too much. Like, I'm always asking myself, like, am I trying too hard? Am I doing too many weird things? I just feel like super grateful that people like it when I do weird and fucked up shit in my music.
Well, like those weird and fucked up things that you'd say are like stuff that people have probably been wanting for like forever. Like I remember I was like, I want something that's like EDM and like pop and just like overfilled with everything that's like normally good that some people would then consider bad if there's too much of. And like now that's what people want. That's what everyone is doing. And so I feel like you're just one of those people that are like, I'm going to do this and it's going to do however it does, but I'm doing it and that's all that matters.
I guess I have to make it hyper in some respect.
No, well, some would say.
I also feel like I'm kind of in competition with a lot of people. Like friendly competition, like healthy competition. Like it's all my friends, but it's like, you know, someone will drop like a super crazy song and it's like, oh, I need my next song to be crazy. So I'll make it go in a million different directions because I understand how to do that better than I understand how to do like one simple thing in a really precise manner.
Kind of interesting to think about how you're able to do just more than one thing way easier than just one thing.
Well, it's because like a lot of people, you know, probably people who do the same type of thing over and over again, they get really good at that, but I get bored too easily to like, I guess, really hone one direction. Maybe.
Oh, no, I completely understand. I can learn how to do interviews and be a journalist before I can finish like my psychology homework.
I mean, homework sucks.
I mean, homework sucks, yeah, but...
It sucks. I hate school. I hope I never go to school again as long as I live. That shit is awful.
How did your family feel when you were going more into the direction of music and the creatives and the arts rather than, like, traditional, yeah, I'm just gonna go to school 4 years, graduate, get a decent job?
said anything. They were never like, this is a bad idea, or this might not work, or we need to have a serious talk about how this might work. I think they're always just like understood that I was gonna like do whatever I wanted, and if that was a huge mistake, then I learned from my mistake, you know. And if the music thing, like if I went into the music industry and I got burned and I quit and then I went back to school, I think they would be like, okay, so you figured it out on your own or whatever. But I think the whole time I was just going at it, they were like, you know, hope this works out, and then it worked out. So
do you feel like that's kind of helped you? Because I feel like when you have your parents saying, yeah, you shouldn't do that, it kind of like discourages you a little bit, even if you already plan on doing it. But I feel like
it's the worst. It's the worst. I mean, like, definitely I would not have the skill set I do if I was not like afforded the freedom to work on it for years and years.
Nice.
Like,
I mean,
100%.
You've clearly done really well, and I feel like that freedom is a big part of doing things. Like, learning from your mistakes is huge, rather than someone saying, okay, this is just like an immediate mistake, because in that instance you're more like, well, I'm here, I know what to do for next time, rather than like wondering what could have potentially been a mistake, but also like how that could have been, you know, you growing in a sense.
Well, I think making mistakes is very important. I think a lot of people like are always trying to avoid doing the wrong thing, but like in order to grow, like, you have to get hurt and you have to fuck up. You know what I mean? Like, if you just like only stay in your comfort zone the whole time, or you don't do anything that could be considered a risk, you won't learn as much. Like, maybe you can learn from other people making those mistakes, but if you make the mistakes yourself, it's like kind of a slap in the face. It's like, hey, learn a lesson. I close my window because kids keep yelling.
No, but I 100% agree with that. I feel like even for me, like, learning from mistakes and just trying new things has definitely been like a huge part of getting me to where I am today. You know, from learning and editing interviews, like, just from behind the camera, behind the laptop, to like actually being here. It's like, oh, I should maybe do this, or maybe I shouldn't pirate Photoshop and Premiere, which I no longer do. Maybe I should save everything I do like 10 times over, so I don't have to work on the same interview like 16 times when my laptop decides to fail. And I mean, it's
the most important lesson to learn. It's for sure.
It's like, people could have told me these things and I would have been like, okay, cool, and then probably not have done them. But now learning and like spending hours behind a laptop and now spending hours in front of a camera, I've learned a lot, and I wouldn't have learned a lot if I wasn't able to fuck up so many times. So I definitely know what you mean. And especially with music too, I feel like it's ×2 because it goes out to a lot more people. I don't know, it's just interesting to me to think about like how we've all grown by fucking up so much.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely, like, that's also why I make so much music, is because the more music I make, the better I'll get at it, I feel. And obviously, there's something to be said about deliberate practice versus just making the same mistakes over and over again because you're not paying attention. But I definitely feel like if I didn't make 10 billion songs last year, my music wouldn't be as good this year.
No, I mean, you refine your practice so much that you begin to hone in on it, and then you can practice on something else. And then it's just like a huge, like, stairs of skill sets that you learn. And with music, it's I feel like, again, it's like ×2 because there's so much you could learn, but there's also so many ways you could fuck up.
True.
Have you become kind of like a mother figure to your friends in a way, or like people now entering the scene? Because I feel like if I was entering the scene with the intent to start making music, you're probably one of the people I would go to and be like, hey, is this good? Can you give me some pointers?
The thing I notice about a lot of the newer artists is that they don't really give a shit what anyone thinks. So like, I feel like it's very rare. Like, I have a bunch of friends who, like, they make something and then they hit me up and then they're like, what do you think about this? And I give them feedback. But like, 90% of the time I think they just want to do it and not have any external feedback. And like I get that because like that's how I am too. Like I never really took anyone's advice. I never really like made a song and then like looked for external feedback so I could twix it, except for mixing. I think that's important for mixing. Like a lot of times I'll make a mix and like I'm not sure if the vocals are too loud or too quiet, and I'll send it to someone if it's a record I really care about. I mean, I'll test it in my car and shit like that. But just like from a musical standpoint, I feel like a lot of people these days kind of like go into their cave and then they tinker with it and they don't really like want external feedback. But I definitely it's an interesting question. I do feel like I do have like, you know, this sort of like elderly sage thing going on where like a lot of people are like, yo, I don't know how the music industry works, or like I don't know what I should be doing or how much I should be releasing or whatever. And like sometimes, you know, I do like giving advice and I do like teaching, but I think like 99% of the time everyone just wants to do anything on their own anyway, which is like, I totally get that.
I respect that. I've been wondering this for a while. Who was like your first real friend in this sort of genre? Because of course you've collaborated with like a lot of people.
So the person who in effect introduced me to the entire scene was Chach. Like I didn't know. Like Chach found like my joke songs, and then I think I like DM'd him, and then I was like telling him, like I was like linking him some of the Blackwinterwells shit. He was like, "Oh yeah, no, I know Blackwinterwells." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sick." And then he was a member of Goon City at the time. He might still be. Why don't I remember that? I don't know. Anyway, and then he showed my music to Kills, and then Kills was like, "This person is epic. Get them in Goon City." And then I was in Goon City, and from there it was just like a snowball of meeting people. And Quinn was in Goon City at that time too, so you know we ended up making some songs, and it's kind of the rest is history. You know? Yeah.
No, it's been really it's been really interesting, especially with like, you know, the bigger collectives like Goon City, Helix, Tears, Nova Gang, like stuff like that. Seeing how all these people are coming together, like Red, the song Red had like everyone on it, and I was like, huh. I can barely, like, get together with one friend and plan, you know, to get lunch or something, and here you guys are just recording all these verses over a beat. It's really insane.
The big songs were cool. It's always been... Cyphers were always, like, the coolest things to me. Like, I remember when I was in high school, when I was, like, a huge Our Future fan, as well as, like, obviously everyone was a huge Our Future fan. I remember, like, seeing the oldie video and being like, I need this. I need 10 other people who want to make music exactly like me, and we'll do a fun music video and punch each other in the face in the music video and be stupid. And I still haven't met most of the other people on Red, but you know, hopefully one day I could, you know, get together and do like a big posse cut music video, because that's just like,
that would be insane.
It's the most beautiful thing, you know? Just like a bunch of people coming together and making one big fucking song. Like, it's just such a, you know, like, they're not always going to be, like, the most popular songs or the most, like, necessarily good songs, but there's just, like, the camaraderie is so important.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. And I mean, like, I felt that, like, the same way I'd feel, like, back in 2016 watching like Cyphers like Double XL when that was like cool, or like the Odd Future Cyphers, the same way I felt when I listened to like Among Us, the Among Us Cypher, or like Red.
Listen to Among Us.
No, okay, when that came out, that could have not come out in a more optimal time when Among Us was like the biggest thing.
I think it's extremely funny that song exists. I think this is probably my darkest secret, is that I think the Among Us joke, I think the Among Us meme, I think sus, imposter, all that shit is just the funniest shit in the world, and I just like can't stop. Like I just like, my friends are so tired of my shit because I'll just come into the VC and I'll just say the word Among Us repeatedly until they leave. Like I'm just, a terrible, terrible person to be around just because I think Among Us is the funniest thing. I think I have brain damage or something. Just the fact that there's like, before Among Us became a joke, there's an Among Us cipher where everyone was talking about Among Us.
It's literally the fact that you got a whole bunch of people to just get in a cipher. Well, not you, but like the fact that that song encompasses like a whole bunch of people to literally be on a cipher completely about Among Us. It's insane to think how you can make that many references to a game that's that simple.
I think it's a very complex game, actually. I think social deception games have a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of complex dynamics at play. Obviously, the game itself is simple, but
yeah,
you know, I think Mafia is definitely 4D chess. I don't know, and I still like the game. I was playing it last night with some of my friends, and it's pretty funny, especially when like people don't know how the game works. And a friend of mine was just like, "Oh, Adam killed me," and I'm like, "You're not allowed to fucking say it." Okay, so we shouldn't talk about Among Us for too long.
Yeah, I feel like we might get sucked into a black hole of Among Us lore. No, but yeah, I honestly just like the hyperpop ciphers, the one that we will no longer speak about, Red, Lose Crackhead Freestyle, like all that stuff is insane to me. That all you guys can just come together and do something that I feel like for a while started to feel played out, and now it's kind of like something that's fresh and new and everyone loves.
I mean, I definitely think that doing the big, huge songs is like a bit played out now. Like there's so many big, huge songs, but I do think doing a song with a bunch of people is so cool. Like doing a song with like 5 people is sick. I put out a song with 5 people.
Yeah, I mean, like it's just fun. Like, to see everyone just kind of match each other's energy. Not to go back, but it's like when Drake came out with Forever, and that was like, everyone was like, what the fuck?
The fact that Drake and Eminem have a song is like, kind of makes me go a little insane. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me, in a way. Because it's just like, because Eminem is like, real hip-hop, I'm a rapper, I love to rap. And then Drake's like the saddest boy of all, in all of Canada. So it doesn't like Eminem and Lil Wayne makes sense. Drake and Lil Wayne makes sense. You put all 3 of them together, and it's just like.
And then you sprinkle in Kanye in there, and it's like. What?
And then Kanye saying some things on that song also. Yeah, it's really funny shit. We gotta stop talking about Drake. We gotta stop talking about Drake and Among Us. This is the worst interview ever. What's wrong with you?
I'm sorry. Listen, I'm telling you, mistakes we learn from. No more Drake, no more Among Us ever in any interview. Thank you. I've learned.
Now you know. It may not mean nothing to y'all.
Your Black Magician video, that was your first video. How did that kind of become the thing that you wanted to be?
So, the Dark Magician video, I think that song's like a really important song to like the Wells lore. I think it sort of established a lot of the stuff that I still like reference back on now. And also I didn't want my first video to be like a hyperpop song because I'm like kind of trying to fight the idea that A, hyperpop exists, which I don't think it does, and B, that if it does exist, I make it, because like, I don't think putting me in the same lane as the loud, distorted stuff makes sense. I think that's wrong. And so I was like, Dark Magician's kind of like a big, soft, ambient song. It has a lot of important lore elements. It's kind of quintessential. And so I just really wanted to make a music video that kind of encapsulated what I'm all about. And I wanted it to be like colorful and dreamy, and 845 is very good at working a camera, and Chava is a good editor, so it came together in a way I really liked.
No, yeah, it was kind of left field, because again, I feel like it's kind of one of the things that you don't necessarily expect because of everything that's going on right now. Like, I've shot one music video in the last year and a half, and it's something that's really hard to kind of pull off if people don't go in knowing what they want to do. And that like, I had to write an article on that video. I refused to let anyone else do it. I refused to, like, just not write about it. It was kind of an interesting thing to see, like, wow, maybe we're, like, moving forward in this scene and past, like, you know, just recording and that's it. So it was kind of refreshing to see a music video that didn't have $1 billion budget, but that was also good during these times.
Yeah, well, I mean, I definitely really like a lot of the, like, super low budget webcam type videos people are doing too. Just the thing for me is that I want it to really be, like, I guess artistic. I guess my point, the point I'm trying to do with a lot of my stuff is for it not to really seem like lazy or like it's a product. Like, I want it all to seem like I'm trying to make a statement with it. And I also, the reason it's my only video is because, like, 99% of the time I, like, hate how I look. Fun fact. And I made a lot of music videos in the past, and I really, like, I look back on them and I kind of don't like how I look in them. But then kind of recently I got a little more confident about that, and I feel like in order to be an artist, you kind of have to have videos. Less so now that, like, the TikTok thing is big.
Yeah.
But, you know, traditionally, like, the model is you make an album, you have singles from the album, the singles have videos. You know what I mean? And I'm definitely going to do more in the future. Probably, like, higher budget type stuff and, like, really fancy, fucked up, artsy stuff.
Yeah.
But that was just, like, kind of the first thing that I could put out and go, like, okay, I'm okay with this. This is a nice portrayal of me. I'm okay with people pausing it at weird moments and seeing me make a funny face.
I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of do that, but that's just what I do with everything. Just kind of overanalyze everything.
I do that with BTS videos too. You pause it at a funny moment, and Jimin's going like, you know.
Wait. blackwinterwells BTS stan confirmed?
Not stan, because I have very strong opinions of what of their music is good and what of their music is less good. So I'd say most of the stans, like, kind of uncritically love everything, but I'm kind of a music listener about it. I'm kind of like, oh, I don't like this, I like this, but I do think they're really good, and I feel like a lot of their sad stuff is, like, not significantly different from emo rap or, like, Bladey.
Yeah.
Or whatever, and I try to tell people this. I'm trying to like, yo, listen to Fake Love by BTS. This is an emo rap song. If you like that shit, you'll like this. And they're like, it's K-pop. And I'm like, but the sonic aesthetics. Anyway, I could go on about this forever.
All right, well, we'll add this to the list of topics we can no longer speak about.
I mean, I'm okay talking about. I'd rather talk about BTS than talk about Drake at this point. But you know, it is. I shouldn't just talk about other people's music the whole interview.
That's fair. Let's talk about your music then.
Okay.
What's kind of your process going through a song? I know you record a lot. You produce a lot. So, like, what kind of goes into that?
So these days, usually what I do, and I think for almost every song I put out this year, it's been like that, except for when my computer broke, so I couldn't work on stuff. So Restore and Frostbite, I didn't do as much on as I normally would have, but for Strength Bonus and Hearse and Omen, my process is I make a demo. I make it really rough because I find that, like, if I just write an idea down and I get the whole song down, it's very easy for me to, like, tinker with it and do rewrites, and then I do the big Wellsy vocal layers or whatever, and then my process for Hearse in particular, and also kind of not like Strength Bonus and Omen, I definitely worked on the instrumentals after the fact. Omen I did a lot on after the demo, but Hearse was like I completely deleted the original instrumental. Like, I made the song, I had Funeral's verse, and then I deleted the beat, and then I made kind of multiple different sections of that were completely different. Like, I did the guitar part, and I did the drum and bass part, and I did the weird fucked up noise parts on the beginning. And I think to me that's just a really fun way to do things. And I think it's like not just me who does that. Like there's a lot of people who like they'll take a vocal or they'll take someone else's vocal and they'll just like completely flip it and put like a new beat on it and like make it all crazy, because it's a lot easier to write on a normal beat and then delete the beat and make a new beat than it is to like try to write on something crazy. Yeah. So like I think a direction a lot of people are going to be going in is making a demo that's simple and then just going crazy with it, because the sky's the limit as far as instrumentation goes. It's just like what you're comfortable writing on. Like you write on piano chords and then you put what's the word, incomprehensible space noises under it, and that's kind of like what I'm trying to go into. But also in the future, I think like Omen was really big for me stylistically. I think I really found something that I like. I like the really dark shit. I'm thinking I'm gonna do an album that's all really dark like that, and just really like just a pit of tar of bad emotions. So I think the next album that's going to come out is going to be really downward spiral by 9 Inch Nails type mood. Don't hold me on that because I keep changing the idea for the album. Like I had another idea that was like I wanted all to sound like Donkey Kong Country, and then I changed my mind. I still want to do that. I still want to do a Donkey Kong Country type album with me singing on it, and also there's 808s. No one steal that idea. Don't steal it.
We have now trademarked it. No one else can do it.
Yeah. Well, this is video evidence that I came up with the idea first. If anyone tries to steal that, I have so many album ideas, and it's just like I'm always changing my mind on what I want the album to be. But I'm pretty sure the next one is going to be fucked up, dark, evil music. Yeah.
I mean, I'll be happily waiting to listen to that, review it, have it on repeat for like 2 weeks, force it down to all my friends, so it's normal stuff,
Awesome.
Now, when it comes to working with other people, which you seem to do a lot, whether it's like producing or, features and whatnot, do you have like any particular favorite people that you like to work with, or?
So I feel like it's no secret that me and 8485 work extremely well together. Like they do all my art. I do all like the mixing and production on most of their songs. It's really kind of like a constant creative back and forth. But like most of the people in Helix Tears, I really, really like working with. Some of them like don't make that much music, so like that's cool, like that's not, like, I'm not hating, but like me and Grande do a lot of cool shit together. Who else? I like making music with Taylor Morgan. We don't do it super often because a lot of times I'm not trying to hit stuff with like hi-hats and 808s, but I guess the people I really like working with are the people I really like his people, like the people that I'm like really close friends with. I'm trying to remember who else. There's like so many people I make music with, it's like hard to remember.
Listen, it's hard for me to remember, and I just listened to it like not even an hour ago.
Who do I work with a lot? Oh, Dolly, obviously, because me and Dolly have 40 billion songs. Most of them aren't released, but we make a bunch of music. Dolly's great. I'm trying to think of who else. I swear I'm just going to open up the Helix Tears page and just read off the list of people that I make music with all the time. Blixty, of course. I don't have a lot of songs with Power Doll, but I feel like Power Doll is one of the best musicians on Earth, and I love making music with Power Doll. Me and Quinn haven't made songs together in a while, but those are like my favorite songs in the world. Who else? I really like working with Yerms. I feel like I really understand. I feel like Yerms is one of the only people that's doing like the hyperpop thing, like the distortion and with the high pitch stuff, who really like makes interesting and like different and cool music, because I think a lot of the people that try to do that like kind of distorted like candy type sound are really like don't do a lot with it musically, but I think Yerms has always like taken being shrill and harsh and distorted in an interesting direction. Also, Keegan I make music with like all the time. Alright, I don't know why I said Keegan. Kuru, I forgot. Everyone knows everyone by their name now. I love making stuff. Making stuff with him is super easy. Just like anytime, it's just like I send it open, he sends it open. It's just like instant. It's like it's so easy. We're just on the same wavelength about everything. Basically, yeah. My answer to that question is the Helix Tears guys
Nice.
are who I like to make music with, which is why they're in Helix Tears.
I mean, yeah, the good part about being in a collective is everyone just kind of works together really well. And I think that's just like the beautiful part about the, like, I guess, couple of big collectives that are out there is that whenever like two people from there making music together, it's always consistently just fantastic. It's always a banger. And it's really nice to just like, I guess for an artist to have someone that's like, I could be on a song with them and no matter what, I know it's either going to be fun, I'm going to like it, and everyone's going to like it. So it's, I get it. I could understand why. My name is Deadboy.img.
My name is blackwinterwells. Well, that's not my name, but that's what I go by.
And this has been our interview on Grooverelly. I appreciate you, love you all, thank you.
Fun interview, cool interview, nice interview.